Hello guys, so welcome back. This is Ngozi. I hope you've been finding the tutorials friendly. If you have any question or any observation or any recommendation, kindly drop them in the comments section. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 things I wish I knew when I started out in my crochet journey. So the first thing I wish I knew about was hook sizes. Yes, hook sizes. I didn't know anything about hook sizes. I didn't know that there was something like 2 mm hook, 3 mm hook, 4 mm, 5 mm. I had no idea that there was anything like that. I was using this tiny hook. Let me try to see if I can see it here. Okay, this is a bear hook. It's actually not as big as this. The hook was very tiny. I think it should be around 1.5 to 1.9. The range should be around that size. So that was the kind of hook size I was using then. Not that you cannot use that hook size though, but I didn't know that to use that hook size, there's a particular type of yarn size you should use. I had no idea, and I just kept on using that hook. So along the line, I learned that there are different sizes of hook. So I decided to get myself a pack of ergonomic hook. Yes, a pack of ergonomic hook. I'll drop the link to the seller's Instagram page for you. Just check the description box. So I didn't know anything about that, about the hook sizes. So I kept on making clothes in. I kept not clothes now because I was not into clothes then. I kept on taking more time. Yes, let's say I'm to make a beanie that's supposed to take 2 to 3 hours or highest 4 hours. I could spend 2 days making a beanie. Why? Because I was using a very small crochet hook. It actually came out as a beanie, but I spent time on it, and the yarn size I was using could actually be too thin or too thick compared to the hook size. So I was having those issues. And another issue I was experiencing was with my tension. Tension is how well you hold your hook and yarn, how consistent you are. Not that when you are making chains, one part looks big, the other part looks tight, the other part looks normal. So I didn't know anything about tension then. I had zero idea. I just kept on working. So some of my projects came out wobbly just because my tension wasn't consistent. So along the line, I had to learn how to ensure that my tension stays where it is. And also another thing I want us to know that I learned along the way is that actually there's no rule of thumb to crochet. So whatever I'm sharing is based on my knowledge. So what I learned again about tension is that there are different outfits with their different tension. If you want a clothes that should be flowy, that is probably a summer dress or something that you can wear to the beach, I feel the tension should be light. It should not be something bulky, because when it turns out bulky, by the time you start swimming in the ocean I said ocean, by the time you enter the water and you are swimming, since the crochet piece you are wearing itself is bulky, and when it is soaked inside water, you now look like a bag of cement. It now appear heavy. So I feel beach wears, summer wears that you want to be flowy should actually be flowy. So if you are doing that, you should know that you can either use a bigger size of hook or a smaller size of with a smaller crochet yarn size. Okay, let's say you are making a sweater. We know a sweater has to be thick. Then you know that yes, my tension has to be a bit firm, so that the sweater will come out nice and thick the way it ought to. So these were the things I learned along the way. So now if you want to see me making a dress now depending on what the customer wants or depending on what I want, I will tell you, okay, do you want your clothes to be thick or you want it to be soft, you want it to just drape? So it's depending on what you want. That's what I will work with. So that's just how it has been for me. So I don't know if you can actually try it out and see how it goes. Okay, so I said that I'll be sharing 3 mistakes I made. So the first one is hook size and yarn type. The second one is tension. The third one, the third one was is it was or the third one is gauge swatch. It was until 20, yes, was it until last year? Yes, 2023, early last year, I learned about, was it not 2023? No, 2022, I learned about gauge swatch. And the it doesn't like gauge swatch because all what I just did was I was working strictly based with measurements. If you tell me your bust size is 36, then I'm working with 36. So gauge swatch, what gauge swatch does is that it helps you in getting the right amount of stitches to work with. It helps you to know how well a stitch will come out on a dress. So it's more like a gauge swatch is a sample, a small sample. Sometimes it's usually 4x4 or 5x5, 5x5 centimeter. It's just a small sample that is used in knowing how a project will come out and how it's going to be like. Okay, so I didn't know anything about gauge swatching, and even till now there are some projects that I don't use gauge swatch on, but I won't advise to do so. I won't advise to do so. So gauge swatch. Then one other tip I'll be sharing with you for free is, oh, it came to my head now and I forgot. I forgot. I was about sharing one last tip with you guys. Yes, blocking. I know there was anything like blocking. I never knew there was anything like blocking. I just stumbled upon someone's post on Instagram, on my Instagram explore page, and I saw something like blocking. That there's actually wet blocking. It's dry, wet and dry blocking. I've forgotten. And I was like, wow. So there's something like called blocking. So I didn't know anything about blocking. I remember the first trouser I made, a long trouser, very soft and fine something. The first time I wore it, the first time I did it, the second time I did the trouser, after finishing it, I decided to wet block it. So I wet blocked it and dried it. And when it came out longer than the actual size in which I did. Yes. So some yarns tend to spread out. They tend to expand. So gauge swatching also. I've come across crocheters that when they gauge swatch, that sample that they did, they will wet block it to see how well the yarn will stretch out. Am I getting too fast? Why do I sound like someone that is lecturing? So blocking, I learned how to block. So when I made that trouser, after wet blocking it the first time and getting the size, it was longer, which I kind of liked. Then the second and third time when I wore it, from being a trouser, it turned to a palazzo. I don't even know what a palazzo is. It began to sweep the ground that I walked on. It began to sweep everything. I was like, no, this is not what I want. So I had to learn that. Okay, so it was during that process I learned that some particular stitches, some particular yarn stretch over time. So imagine you using that kind of yarn that I used to make that trouser, to make a cloth for someone. I tell you, if you are not careful, once the person wears it the second and third time, it will come out bigger than the actual size. So yes, those were the things I learned during my crochet journey. Hook size and crochet hook size, hook size and yarn size, tension, gauge swatch, and blocking. I hope with this I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you about some of the things I learned. So let me know in the comment section. Let me know if you have ever tried any of this, if you ever experienced a mistake in your crochet journey. How was it? Kindly share. And if you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share with as many people as possible. Thank you.